Very good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Buddhist Mahavir's Facebook page. We are going live this evening at our Dhamma series, and we are here today to actually continue something we had started about a month ago, and this was called Ask the Teachers Anything. And we had a very good response in our first session in July, and now we have to do a follow up, and this is 2.0 of the same series. Basically, what we do is we have questions that have been posed to us by our viewers, our devotees from the Buddhist Mahavira Facebook page. And we have got two very distinguished monks with us this evening. We have Bhante Sankichcha, who is from the USA but currently residing in Sri Lanka, and also Bhante Jinananda, who's based in Canada, who will be joining us to answer your questions that you have been posing to us over the last 1 month or so. So now I'd like to bring on Bhante Sankichcha and Bhante Jinananda to our show. Welcome, Bhantes. Welcome to the Buddhist Mahavira Facebook page.
Welcome.
Um, yes, let me read the profiles of these two monks. Just give me a minute. Yes, Bhante Yatinora Sankichcha Tero was born in Kandy, Sri Lanka in 1976. He entered the monastic life at the age of 15 in 1991 at the city's Subodha Rama International Buddhist Training Center in Kandy. Soon after his higher ordination in 1996, he moved to Australia where he lived for 4 years until he moved to the Great Lakes Buddhist Vihara in Michigan, USA in 2001. Bhante Sankichcha received his BA in psychology from Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. He also has a master's degree in counseling psychology from Oakland University in Michigan, USA. He is currently the abbot of the Great Lakes Buddhist Vihara and is engaged in many social and religious services both locally and internationally. As a meditation and a Dhamma teacher, Bhante Sankichcha helps many people, including teens and adults, by providing them with Buddhist spiritual counseling. Bhante N. Jinananda is a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk who is currently the chief incumbent monk of the Hilda Jayawardena Ramaya Buddhist Monastery and Meditation Center based in Ottawa in Canada. Bhante has a postgraduate diploma in Buddhist studies from the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, a Bachelor of Education degree from the University of Colombo, and a Master's of Arts from the Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada. Bhante Jinananda is also the Director and Vice President of the Buddhist Congress of Canada. Venerable also conducts Samatha and Vipassana meditation retreats and gives Dhamma sermons in various parts of the world. He has also provided counseling and spiritual guidance to the various Buddhist communities in Canada. So, without much ado, I would now like to invite Bhante Sankichcha to start the session with the first question. Let me pose that question to Bhante.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure. Thank you all online. So, it's the Dhamma. I know this is a very good, rich, Dhamma-rich audience that we are having today to have this second session of Dhamma questions and answers with myself and Bhante Jinananda. So we have the first question today from Bro Justin Mendes. Is Buddhism a religion, a way of life, a science, or philosophy? This is a very common question that we get today, as many people think in different ways. Buddhism is a very popular religion and spiritual practice in modern day in the world. But people have hard time identifying what is exactly the Buddha's teachings are. What contains in the teachings. very importantly, according to my personal experience and my personal understanding point of view, uh, in Buddhism, you may find all these aspects. According to you, Buddhism contains all these aspects. If you think about the aspects of religion, common religions in the world, uh, and also aspects of science, aspects of spirituality. Uh, all these things can be found in the teachings. The Buddha, as a great spiritual master, he happened to meet people from all walks of life. Uh, so he got many different audiences, people to teach the Dhamma. So many different people came to him with very interesting questions from all aspects of life. In the teachings, therefore, we can see in the Tripitaka, people asked so many different questions from all these perspectives. Some people asked about the world and the universe. Some people asked about the existence, samsara. Some people asked about the emancipation or the nibbana. So basically, you can see all these aspects. But commonly, people would prefer calling the Buddhist teachings or Buddhism a way of life. This is what mostly people like to call it, right? But we, as Dhamma practitioners, we have to simply understand Buddhism uh, as a spiritual way of life to overcome our suffering. So that is the basic understanding that we all should have. The Buddha's entire effort was to end all the suffering. mm. And we all learn that even though Buddha is a fully enlightened one, that he understood everything about the world, the life, and the universe without missing anything. Uh, but the Buddha teaches only two things to the world, right? What two things? What is suffering and how to get rid of it? So this is what Buddha taught to the world, even though he realized so many things, right? One day when he entered a forest with a group of monks, he got a handful of leaves in his hand and asked the monks, what is greater, the leaves in my hand and or the leaves in the forest? Then monks explained to answered the Buddha, it is obvious, Bhante, the leaves in the forest is greater, uh, but it is very less the leaves that you have in your hand. So Buddha explained just like that. What I realized as I became a Buddha, fully enlightened one, my knowledge is just like the leaves in this forest. But this is how much I teach to the world, the handful of leaves. That is exactly what is the suffering and how to get rid of it. So Buddha did not want us to waste our time, waste our life in unimportant things. So because we know that our life is very short, we are given with a very short time. So therefore, we don't have time to waste on other aspects. Like you can explore the Dhamma in any direction, but as wise, intelligent people, as real Dhamma practitioners, we have to focus our path, our spirituality into this direct point to realize my own suffering and how to get rid of it. So Buddha happened to explain these two aspects very clearly. He explained the Four Noble Truths very clearly into that, right? We need to understand the problem, that there's a problem in our life. We have suffering to get rid of. And then to understand and realize that it is not automatic, there's a reason, which is the cause of suffering and which can be eliminated, and we can be at peace by practicing or following the Noble Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths are explained like that. So Buddha gave us the systematic, gradual path to get there, to end all the suffering. So therefore, as we learn the Dhamma, as we practice the Dhamma, this is a very important point actually. People can easily get lost in the teachings, because it talks about so many things, like as the modern science today, they are very much interested in Buddhism because Buddha happened to explain all these subtle, important aspects of life. You know, you can find the biology, and also psychology, physiology, and spirituality, and all these subjects in Buddhism when you deeply study the Dhamma, right? But we have to be very careful to pay our direct attention to what we need from it, you know. So it is basically from what background you are looking at it, like a scientist. If a scientist looks at Buddhism, that person may find the scientific points, important aspects of science in the teachings. And if you are a doctor, you may find the importance of this physiology, biology, and if you are an engineer, you may find these aspects in the teachings. That means you begin to realize the Dhamma. You begin to understand, comprehend the Dhamma from your perspective. So there's nothing wrong in that. That is exactly how it happens. So therefore, the marvelous thing is that to answer this question, Buddhism has all these aspects. Okay, I think that's the short answer I can give to that question.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you very much. I think that's quite enough for this first question from Brother Justin. Now we'll move on to the next question from Brother, well, at least for me, and we'll ask Bhante Jinananda to help answer that question.
Samma panel. The question is, what is the difference between transmigration and reincarnation? Is it the same as rebirth? Thank you, Tilak, for this question. This need a very lengthy answer, but we have given only around 8 minutes to answer for this question. Transmigration and reincarnation. These are some of the words that that has been that have been discussed by many scholars. Even the Buddha was asked some questions about this. My mind goes to a particular discourse called Tanha Sanke Sutta. A particular monk called Sati came to the Buddha and asked the question whether actually he was telling the other monks many times that as I understand, the consciousness, vijnana, travels from this life to another. So Buddha got this message from different monks, and he was summoned to the Buddha, and Buddha questions whether I have told you that the consciousness, vijnana, travels from this life to the other. Then he said that as I understood the message of the Buddha about this particular aspect, yes. Then the Buddha rebuked and rejected the idea that there is something going from this life to another. The question sounds like something we created and collected in this life goes to next life, which is not true according to the Buddha's teaching, because Buddha never discussed something solid exists here and the same thing goes to a next state, even in this life, not necessarily in between two lifetime, uh, but the Buddha never implied anything like that. But those who have attachment and the power of existence still think that there is something solid in this life. So let me go into some important understanding about the transmigration and reincarnation, there are particular words we usually use for death and rebirth, such as reincarnation and rebirth, rebecoming. The Pali word for real term, according to the Buddha, is punabbhava. The Buddha mentioned this word in the first discourse and in many discourses throughout his 45 years of ministry. So, reincarnation, when we talk about reincarnation, we can see the history of this word. It comes from Judeo-Christian culture. It means that a person, the same person, goes to the next life after death. Before we talk about the reincarnation, we have to discuss the discarnation. The spirit believed to be separate from this body when he or she dies is called discarnation. Then reincarnation means the term reincarnation is therefore means that the discarnate spirit re-enter into a physical body. So this is what basically we mean with the discarnation and also reincarnation. But such thing is not explained in Buddhism. Mind and body, when we divide the human into two, according to the Paccekka Samuppada, is up two processes that works together, and also when the death happens, this power or energy or consciousness, whatever, uh, you know, you know, disappear here and reappear in another existence, depending on whatever we do. But it seems like something goes from this life to another. But Buddha clearly said that I do not put in that way, but I used to tell that a kind of process takes place. I just want to Tilak to think about what Venerable Mahathir Punnaji explained in his book called Beyond the Horizon of Time. Uh, it's a In that book he gives a very clear message about reincarnation, rebirth, karma, and what exactly the mind and body the function when they come together. So that he is very clear, he's very particular in this aspect. So when the Buddha answered to the question whether uh, consciousness is something solid or is a process, he clearly mentioned that it comes into being when the eyes and also ears and other senses and sensory experiences come together. There is consciousness, and this consciousness is really attached to the karma, the good and bad energy, and that's how this come into being in another life, depending on the energy. So I rebirth would be a good term than reincarnation to be used according to the Buddha's teaching, because punabbhava and next life we talk about in Buddhism, but reincarnation is not a thing that we discuss in Buddhism. It is a completely different term to designate that this same person goes to another life, which is not discussed in Buddhism. But punabbhava, uh, having this energy uh, in another place with changes could be something good in terms of understanding Buddhist point of view of next birth. When the Buddha recollect his past life under the tree on the day he attained enlightenment, he also saw that he was in such a life with such names, and he could be able to remember many lifetimes. But with the in another discourse said that no, even me and monks, all of you think about the past. That is also thinking about the five aggregates of clinging. This is the answer I could give for this question. This is the short version. When we analyze the body and mind into a subtle level like dhatu elements, we cannot say that we could use transmigration, reincarnation, or whatever similar to that. But we can say rebirth could happen, but with changes and not in the same way we have in the previous life. But from the moment the consciousness descend into a new life, it is a new environment, and the karmic energy help the being to restart his cycle or her cycle, and the next and the environment around that decide what kind of person it should be. So Brother Tilak, this is the quick answer and short answer I can give you. Simply, reincarnation and transmigration are not discussed in Buddhism. They are rejected by the Buddha completely from different discourses. And rebirth could be something to discuss in Buddhism, but with the Paticca Samuppada and karma and the way how mind and body function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you for the excellent answer. Okay, I have to go and read Bhante Punnaji's book to get more insight into this topic, because this is not just my question, but I think it's a question that is lingering in many of our devotees' minds. And I noticed that this question keeps popping up all the time. So I thought it'll be a good opportunity if we hear a different opinion from a different monk. And I think you have answered this question excellently. We'll now move on to Bhante Sankichcha again. Thank you, Bhante Jinananda.
Yes. Our next question is, how do I approach jealousy? I know that it is not right to be jealous and constantly divert my attention when it arises, but it still arises. So this question is from Sister Rohini Pereira from USA. So this is a very common tendency, human tendency that we all have as human beings, right? We all know about jealousy. Hmm. So this is a kind of emotion that we develop from our early childhood. If you have to think about it, you know, you may have seen that, you know, when very little kids are playing, you know, they easily feel this jealousy. You know, they jealous uh, about their friends. You know, not having a good toy or not having an opportunity to play or win a game. So this is where you can easily observe this particular emotion of jealousy even from the early childhood. So in time, this develops. This get more advanced as we grow up, as we interact with other people, situations, as we deal with different types of occasions, you know. So therefore, it's a very common tendency, but it is negative, as we know. Why is it negative? Jealousy is negative, and it can be even harmful too, right? So when you think about the jealousy, when it is present, when it is arises in our mind, it's a kind of restless in our mind, and it can be physical, biological too. You know, the jealousy is not a comfortable feeling or emotion. You feel restless. It can be like burning experience for someone. You know, so jealousy is basically not to be able to stand someone's happiness, progress, the skillfulness, any gain, maybe the physical beauty, or whatever it is, the condition. You cannot simply stand that. You become very uncomfortable in front of others' happiness. So this is the jealousy, right? So therefore, it is a negative emotion that many people tend to behave negatively, right? So in the first place, it's a negative experience because you are suffering because of the jealousy. If you are, even though you are aware or not about the jealousy, it's a suffering for you. It's a disturbance in your mind, and it can be a disturbance in your body as well. So the discomfort or the suffering is there. And then it moves to the behavior or our attitude. What people do out of jealousy, being jealous, they tend to do certain things. They sometimes want to hurt others. They want to disturb them or maybe destroy their happiness or the conditions around that happiness. You cannot simply stand someone's promotion. So you may talk behind, talk to other people and try to talk bad about a certain person and try to destroy that happiness. So that is the jealousy. So it leads us to negative behavior, and therefore it is akusala. It is negative, negative thought, and it's an emotion. We have to understand that. But what can we do about it when it is arising in our mind? The first thing is that we need to understand the negative aspect of it, and discourage ourselves in that direction. Why is it bad? Why is it not okay? Why is it unhealthy? So this understanding is very important, according to this question, how to handle it. As it arises in your mind, you need to remind yourself, this is not okay, this is not right, this is harmful to you, this is harmful to others. That basic knowledge, understanding is the first turning point for you to handle this jealousy. And afterwards, we need to learn how to appreciate the opposite of jealousy. So, what is the direct opposite of jealousy? We learn in the Dhamma one of the marvelous qualities, which is the appreciative joy. We call the sympathetic joy. Hmm? Mudita, we call it. It is the opposite of jealousy. What it simply means is that uh, you become happy about someone's happiness. You appreciate when someone is happy, when someone is very famous, popular, when someone is very skillful, and when someone is doing very well off. So you become very happy about this person. So this is the opposite of jealousy, appreciative joy. You become able to be happy about someone's happiness. So how can it happen? It is not a normal thing to happen to a certain to a human being because it is an advanced quality. When you talk about the evolution of our spirituality, as we progress through this understanding, the spiritual practice, it is a kind of a highly advanced level that you become able to appreciate others' happiness. And I think it is one of the ways for us to be happy in this world. You may not have certain things in your life, but when you happen to see these positive things, beautiful things in others' life, you can simply think that, oh, it happened to me. It is me that enjoying this happiness. You can simply become a part of others' happiness in your mind, thinking that it happened to you, it occurred to you. So you can simply enjoy that. You can simply be a part of that happiness, and you can simply rejoice in that positive thing, that happiness. So that is exactly what we call the mudita, appreciative joy. So this is actually comes with the understanding from the very basic point that Buddha always teaches us to compare this with your own experience, right? How you feel when you are happy, how you feel when you are very success, very well off, you know. So we have to think similarly, and treat the others the way you like to be treated, right? So feel the same way. Others also not happy to get hurt, and they also enjoy the happiness, positive things, just like myself. So therefore, wish the same thing for others, and try to still rejoice and appreciate it. And not only that, moving forward, in advance, in that quality is that you try to protect others' happiness. Not only you wish others' happiness, but you even try to promote that. You try to protect others' happiness in every possible way. So this quality comes in line with four Brahma Viharas that we learned, four sublime states, right? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. Loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. So these qualities are working together. Maybe you may not be able to practice the appreciative joy alone, but as a result of cultivating the loving kindness, compassion, equanimity, these qualities, you naturally become able to maintain this appreciative joy, which is the opposite of jealousy. So, therefore, according to those Brahma Viharas, four sublime states, the mudita, appreciative joy, becomes a totally different, one single meditative object that we cultivate. How you cultivate that is, as an answer to this question, how to approach it, you need to learn to appreciate good qualities in yourself first. See if you can notice, see if you can identify some positive things in your life, which is very difficult for some people. They always blame themselves. They always see the mistakes in their life. They never appreciate their life, their skills, you know. So therefore, it's a very good quality to identify some positive qualities in your life and appreciate it and become happy about you. So this is a very positive thing to be very healthy, both physically and mentally. So then you project that to others. In the practical level of meditation, you begin to identify this quality with others. So suppose you have a difficult person in your life, right? There can be so many things that you don't like about this person. You may hate this person, but uh, as a practice, as you want to get rid of this jealousy, see if you can identify one single quality in this person which is positive. This person may have helped you or said a good word to you, helped in any way in your life. So try to identify this one single quality and appreciate it. So this is the way to cultivate the appreciative joy and eliminate the jealousy, the negative emotion of jealousy. So we can broaden that quality as the Brahma Viharas. These qualities are practiced infinitely. So we can think about the whole world in that way. You always wish the happiness, the goodness for all living beings. So it's a wonderful quality to practice and cultivate, as we move forward in this spirituality. This is something we want to see, we would like to see in ourselves, you know, to be able to appreciate the joys in others' happiness. So I think that would be a short answer to question how to approach jealousy. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. I think, as you mentioned, that your answer was quite to the point. Talking about the Brahma Viharas that you just mentioned, we actually are going to have a series of talks based on the Brahma Viharas starting on the 21st of August. We'll be talking about Metta by Bhante Yasasi, Dr. Yasasi, Karuna by Bhante T. Suttadara, and on the 28th, Bhante Olanda Anande will be talking about Mudita. And on 30th of August, Sunday, we'll be talking about Upeka.
There you go. You
So,
will learn things.
yeah, so we are going into a bit more in depth onto the four Brahma Viharas. For those of you who would like to follow us, please do follow us in August, this month. We'll be talking a little bit more about the Brahma Viharas. Thank you, Bhante. Let's move on to the next question. Uh, uh,
Yes, the next question is, why didn't Queen Maha Maya live long enough to see Prince Siddhartha become the Buddha? Thanks for the question, Sister Pamela Jayasinghe from Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, this is one of the questions that we do not have a clear answer, because sutta references are very less, except one particular discourse in Majjhima Nikaya, That is Sutta number 123. The Sutta's name is Acharya Abhuta Dhamma Sutta, the marvelous and amazing qualities of Prince Siddharta. In that discourse, we see the point that the Mahamaya, the mother of Prince Siddharta, died after 7 days of the birth of the Prince Siddharta and reborn in divine existence. But we do not have for what reasons she died, and we don't have many sutta references about that. And we can pick up some points and point of views of different scholars in commentaries and sub-commentaries and interpretations, but still we cannot get what reasons exactly cause for Queen Maha Maya, the mother of the Buddha, die. But you know what, when we read the articles and books written by academics about the mother of the Buddha, still we have a mysterious point that one of the things we need to discuss is that the Indian society in the 6th century BC did not reveal much about the mothers, but the fathers. It's happening even today in India that mothers go to their own houses for delivering of babies. That would be one reason that they do it, because they become comfortable with their own mothers. And Queen Maha Maya also was traveling from the King Suddhodana's city to her own home, and in the middle of the journey she had the pain. Of course, it's not a pain as many average mothers, but she felt that the baby is coming. So by standing, according to the available information, she delivered the baby, Prince Siddharta. It could be some infection or whatever other reasons that could happen at the delivery, but it is said that that was one of the marvelous giving birth to a child by human mothers. There are other instances and also point of view discuss that there was no opportunity for any beings to reborn in Buddha's mother's womb. Therefore, there was a destiny for Mother Mahamaya of Prince Siddhartha to die after 7 days of his birth, because if there was any opportunity for anyone to come to the womb, that is not right according to the Bodhisattva status and the Buddha status. So when the Prince Bodhisattva, being a deity in the Tusita world, look at the world, he was looking for some conditions like the mother, father, the place where he should reborn for the last time, and the time period, and so on. So in terms of looking for mother, he should be righteous by every means, and also she should die in number of days after his birth. And then these are some of the conditions according to the available information in commentaries that the Bodhisattva Deva from Tusita world look at in the human world for his last journey. Having said that, from a general point of view, it's not nice, because if the mother was there when Prince Siddhartha became the Buddha, she must be very happy. Why only for the mother? The father stayed and attained to Arahantship with the support of the son. Why not the mother? And again, we have the fact that the Buddha visited the divine world to support the Mother Deva, Matru Diviraj, for 3 months and delivered the Abhidhamma. This is another statement made by monks and people from different countries who talk about the Abhidharma. So anyway, it could be many reasons, but they are not recorded very well, because the first possible record come to us after several hundred years of the Buddha's parinibbana. Therefore, the true information of what happened to the Mother Mahamaya, Queen Maha Maya, was not coming genuinely and from accurate records. Therefore, people speculated when records were done. Therefore, many people think different things, but in my understanding, yes, it would be very nice if the Queen Maya stayed enough to see the growth of the Prince Siddhartha. Who knows? Queen Prajapati was also worried about Prince Siddhartha's leaving, and it would be sometime a bondage for Prince Siddhartha to live. And the other thing, with regard to the mother's death, Prince Siddhartha should know about mother's passing away well before he saw the 4 signs. The Theravada and Mahayana, Vajrayana, and all these Buddhist sectors try their best to point out that in a normal space level, that Prince Siddhartha did not see any person's death and sorrow, lamentation. Even the father King Suddhodana, along with the administration, tried their best to avoid all these 4 signs. But you know what? Prince Siddhartha was genius. He was, in my view, he was able to know all these life changes from his wisdom, because he saw his father and he's different from the others, and he saw many people in the palace. Why not Prince Siddhartha understood about the different lifestyle, different nature of lives, and changes of life of his own? Of course, in my understanding, he knew about his mother's death as well. We do not know any reference in the suttas, which is the primary sources to know the Buddha's teaching, that he did not tell that I didn't know that my mother passed away. So as the Prince Siddhartha, as a young boy, he knew that his mother died after 7 days of his life, and only stepmother Queen Prajapati took care of him. So he knew about all these things, but at the same time, we want to say that the information available in the Theravada, Tripitaka, any other Dhamma books are not sufficient enough to give a clear answer. However, I can say that Mother Queen Maha Maya was not worried about his death, and also what the Prince Siddhartha or the Buddha did not worry about the destiny, because the Buddha helped the mother to understand the Dhamma. So we left so many unanswered questions in my answer, maybe because it's they are not hinted in the text. Anyway, you may ask any other questions related to this later on, but this is the answer I could give right now. It's not recorded in the Tripitaka very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante. I hope Sister Pamela has an answer to her question answered. Let's move on to the next question.
To Bhante Jinananda, right? I'm on the number 5. Is that right? Listening up there? Yes, that's the question. So the question number 5, the Buddha is called the awakened one. As the Buddha is the Samma SamBuddha, do we call the Paccekka Buddha and the Arahants, the awakened ones too. So this question is from Jerry Lee. So this is also a very common question that we get from different people. The difference between the Samma, SamBuddha, Paccekka Buddha, and the Arahant, right? So the common understanding is that uh, the enlightenment is the same for everyone. Hmm? The final goal of Nibbana, the enlightenment, the ending of all the suffering and completing the spiritual journey to be the same for everyone, necessary to end all the suffering, basically to realize the Four Noble Truths. So the awakened one, the awakening is common to all the enlightened beings, equal to the Buddha, Samma, SamBuddha, Paccekka Buddha, and the Arahant. For the aspect of awakening, they all are the same, right? But we see some differences here. The Samma Sambuddhas are the ones, the enlightened ones, who uh, realize the Four Noble Truths and attain the enlightenment without uh, anyone's support or guidelines, right? Uh, and it is the same in the case of Paccekka Buddha. Paccekka Sambuddha also attained enlightenment uh, on their own. But in the case of Arahants, the normal enlightened ones, they have to listen to the Dhamma from someone else. They have to learn the Dhamma from someone. Mm. So then they complete the spiritual journey and attain the enlightenment. And we know that the Samma, Sambuddhas, and Arahants can teach the Dhamma and make others enlightened also. They can show the path to enlightenment, but the Pacceka Buddhas cannot teach the Dhamma. This is how it is said and explained in the Dhamma. They are not able to teach the Dhamma somehow. We don't understand it. Why? But for some Buddhas and Arahants, as they are enlightened, they have completed the spiritual journey, they can teach the Dhamma. They can show the path to enlightenment. So otherwise, the awakening, in the aspect of awakening, ending of all the suffering and completing the spiritual factors to enlightenment, they all are the same. They can be called the awakened ones. They are awakened to the reality, or they all are awakened from the dream of existence, as we have touched this point last time, right? The dream of existence. They all have awakened from the dream of existence, realizing the Four Noble Truths, understanding the Paticca Samuppada, and completing this spiritual journey. So, in that way, they all are awakened ones. I think it would be a short answer to that question.
Thank you very much. The question appears on the screen now. It's all about parents passing away when children are at young age. The question is it the karma of the children or the parents? Thank you very much, Sister Janice. It could be karma of both, because death of someone is destined to happen, because according to the Buddhism, we can see that death is a conditions we come with when we are born to this world. But the question sounds like, what is it unlucky that children, got their parents dead when they are young age? In that case, look at the Buddha's life. Mother passed away after 7 days of his birth. Uh, Never sounds that the Bodhisattva Prince did not do any bad thing in his previous life. But here, I just want to educate you on some reasons why death happens. According to the according to the commentaries and some sutta evidences, we can find that death could happen for some reasons. One is expiration of lifespan. This is called ayukke marana. So people live their whole lifespan. As exhaustion of the lifespan, people die. Living beings die. This is the first reason. The second reason is the cessation of karmic forces. Kammakke marana. Sometimes this, if you do not have enough merits to live, you might die untimely. Some powerful karma, negative karma, cause you die when you are young age, when you are middle age, in teenagers, so death could happen because of the karmic forces. That is the second reason. And third reason is both of the first one and the second. Ubayakke marana. Death could happen to people and living beings because of exhaustion of lifespan as well as powerful karmic forces. And the last one is untimely death due to interrupting karmic forces like tsunami or earthquakes, bomb blast, accidents. That these things could happen to people even because of the bad karma they accumulated in previous life or in this life, but it could be something sudden happen. So the death could happen in these ways, either because of bad karma of parents or family members, either because of their own karmic energies. We cannot give a particular definite answer for these questions. Only the Buddhas could do that because they have the ability to say what generate for these people to die, leaving their young children. And also Buddha could be able to say what causes made for these children to lose their parents, but we cannot say exact reasons. Unfortunately, we see this happen in the world. I personally experienced that there are 3 children in the family, and both mother and father died by an accident close to my temple in Sri Lanka. So we were talking about a lot of karma, a lot of karma facts and sutta evidences with regard to this, but we could not get clear answer. We can give number of answers as speculation or point of view. It could be the karma of children or parents. We don't know. But death could be taken as a eye-opening incident to practice the Dhamma. This is the place where Buddha asks us to focus. Suppose you are young people and lose your parents. Try your best to get into the right Dhamma, the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Understand the life that I lose my parents at my young age. What could I keep as certain? So these children actually find a silver line in the dark clouds for them to shine their life with the Dhamma, because they lose the most important thing in their life, so they can focus on the right things. And parents also must think that everything is impermanent. This is the place where we, of course, focus. Everything is impermanent. So we should try our best to live today, right now, with the most important Dhamma facts, and then they would anybody live with peace of mind, depending on the karma they did in the previous life or right now. So death is very certain. The most certain thing in our life is the death. So this should be kept in mind by everyone, and try to practice the Dhamma. I think this is the answer I can give you for this question, depending on the time available.
Our next question is related to the previous one, that Bhante Jinananda answered something related to death and dying. This question is from Sister Angela Wong Ban Cheng. The question is transference of merits only for the departed? So this is a very interesting question too. Thank you for the question. And we always hear the word transferring of merits. This is something we practice as Buddhists all the time. When we think about someone who is dead and gone, maybe our parent, our friends or relative, someone close to us, so we always want to transfer merits to these departed people and wish them a happy journey until they attain the Nibbana. So this is a very important practice in Buddhist way of life. So the question is it only for the departed ones? So definitely we transfer merits to the departed ones. As Buddha has advised us, in any case, if any of our departed person is expecting our spiritual support, if in any case, if they happen to be born in a lawful state, painful place, realm of existence, they expect our spiritual support. So in that case, we can do something good, something spiritual, wholesome in their name, and wish them happiness. Not everybody, but in certain places, certain beings can receive our blessings. So it is very important to understand the meaning of the Pali word for this. It gives a very good, clear understanding about this whole point. The Pali term is the Anumodana, so Anumodati. Uh, it simply means Anuva Satutu Venawa in Sinhala, which means the other party becomes happy according to. So that is the simple meaning. To explain that here, to be able to receive our blessings when we are transferring these merits, in order for them to receive the blessings, they have to be able to be a part of what we are doing here. Any wholesome spiritual activity, they should be able to see that. They should be able to become a part of that wholesome event. So it is not that we give some merits and it goes to someone and get attached to that person. It doesn't happen that way. The the direct meaning of the Anumodati means the other party should be able to appreciate and rejoice in what we are doing in their name. So that is the direct meaning of the Anumodati. So that is why it is explained that not everybody can receive our blessings, our merits when they are dead and gone. So that's the point. They should be able to join. They should be able to become a part of our wholesome or spiritual deed to receive our blessings and overcome any of those sorrowful, painful states and become able to be born in a positive or happy realm of existence. So in that case, when you learn the meaning of that word anumodana, it is not necessarily just the departed one, right? Anyone can be a part of our wholesome action, you know. So then they can share the merits as well. Always the merit or the punya is the happiness of our mind in the right direction. It is the happiness that we experience in our mind whenever we engage ourselves in a positive or wholesome spiritual action, physical, verbal, or mental. So, in that way, if anyone can be a part of our wholesome action, we can share the merits with them, right? For an instance, you go to your friend and you tell that you did this and that, this good wholesome deed. You gave a sangha, you helped someone, you did some charity work, right? You taught the Dhamma, you practiced meditation, we had a Dhamma discussion like this. So, hearing these words, these explanations, your friend can be very happy about it. and appreciate it and become a part of that spirituality. So that way, that person becomes happy and generate merits in that moment. So that is exactly the way of sharing merits. So in that way, it is not just the departed one we can share the merits with. We can share the merits with anyone, right? Especially our living people around us, our friends, family members, parents, and others. You know, we can share the merits with good hearts. It's a very positive thing. You know, it's always generate more merits. To explain or even to think about what we have done again and again, over and over again, because it always purifies our mind. It always generates good, positive, spiritual, wholesome thoughts in our heart and mind. So it's a great way to share our merit and earn merits even by sharing merit, right? It is one of the kusala karmas. It is one of the 10 meritorious deeds to share the merits with others. So I think I have answered that question. Thank you very much for the question.
Bhante, we received a question in your question. Will you be able to answer this?
Uh, to both by the Abhidana is a regular activity in Malaysia. Yeah, kindly guide us about Abhidana. Yeah. So Abhidana is also very important practice, as a part of the practice of generosity. Abhidana means to give someone the fearlessness, to make someone free from fear. So it is just like giving the life, you know, to support someone to live properly, happily, you know. And Abhedana directly, literally means like to free from the death, you know, like here in Sri Lanka. I think in Malaysia also you may practice that, like releasing the cattle, who are uh, to just about to slaughter, right? You free them. So that is giving the abedana. And also, just like what we are having right here, right now, some mosquitoes are trying to bite me. So if I can simply avoid killing or hurting them, it is also giving abedana, right? Not killing, not harming, giving the privilege of life to someone, appreciate that. Just like I appreciate this life, give someone life, you know, uh, the happiness of living without any trouble. So that is the practice of Abhedana, which is considered a higher meritorious deed among the danas, right? It is very positive, all right?
Thank you, Bhante. So I hope Brother Kelvin, Bhante had answered your question about Abhidana. I will now move on to Bhante Jinananda. Bhante, this is from a question from Dr. Sarat. Dr. Sarat is a very devout Buddhist and also a staunch follower and pupil of Bhante Punnaji. And he's very patiently waiting for an answer to this question, Bhante.
To answer this question, it's about whether we can see the Arahants today or not. So there have been no one who achieve Arahantship or Nibbana. Does it mean that Nibbana is an impossible dream? Dr. Sarat Senurata. Doctor, yeah, this has been one of the questions that many Buddhists ask today due to the fact that we cannot see Arahants openly and other reasons. I just want to go on the sutta references first and give my overview about it. In the Tripitaka, the Buddha clearly said that if the noble eightfold path is echoing in human experience and human mind and practice it well, the Buddha said that this world is not devoid of enlightened beings, including arahants. There may be extreme interests, once returners, non returners, and full enlightened beings exist in the world if people practice these noble eightfold path. And it could be we could attach the 737 factors of enlightenment too, not necessarily the noble eightfold path. So the question is that whether we can find them just by our physical eye and just by talking. Um, so in many discourses, Buddha clearly said that Arahants do not want to expose themselves as Arahants if there is no particular reason. Arahants never go out and say that I am an Arahant and come and listen to me. Uh, they might reveal their arahantship if they if there is a conditions or if there is a reasons to tell it. Otherwise, they would deliver the Dhamma on a compassionate base without revealing their identity, because there is no reasons for them to tell in their own that I am an arahant. In my understanding, there would be arahants, there would be anagami, there would be uh, Sakudagami, and so on, because the Dhamma is discussed, analyzed, and practiced by many individuals. At least they are in the Tripitaka clearly mentioned. Dhamma, there is no problem with the Dhamma in the modern world. It is everywhere. So either in human existence or in divine world, of course, we find some Brahma realm starting from Aviha Brahma realm. There would be Anagamis, and also there would be Arahants who passed away there with the attainment. So we cannot say that there are no Arahants in the world, but the problem is uh, that we could not find them. Sometimes we tend to think about some monks that they were Arahants uh, because of the conditions. I would like to refer to a discourse in Majjhima Nikaya. It's called Ganaka Moggallana. Moggallana was an accountant by profession. That's why we put Ganaka in front of his name. And he went to the Buddha and had a very nice discussion about the Dhamma. And Buddha delivered a very methodical and very nice discourse about how one come to him as an average person who doesn't know Dhamma, and he transformed that person to a enlightened being, stages by stages, giving him the Dhamma. At the end, Ganaka Moggallana, the accountant, asked the question, why this happened, that you are here and the teaching is being explained by you very well, and Dhamma is here. Why some bhikkhus and bhikkhunis do not attain to enlightenment, while some can do that? Then the Buddha gave a nice answer. I explained the path and also necessary instruction for practicing the path, but it is up to disciples to take it serious and practice. If there is no arahants in the world, he said, it is because of the lack of practice. The same thing is said by the Buddha to Venerable Kassapa upon answering question. Venerable Mahakassapa asked the question, why there are no many arahants today, Venerable Sir? Then the Buddha said that it is because of lack of training. It is because of lack of trust on me, on the Dhamma, on the outcome of the Dhamma, and also the Sangha. So there are many rules, but no arahants today as before, Buddha said. So when there are many rules, it means that there are difficult people to train. So short answer for this is that the path is here, and it is being explained over and over again by different people, by different monks, depending on their experience. I think we have no problem with that, but people uh, you know have difficulties in gaining enlightenment because in my view that they do not practice it very well. Even this is this is given to common to all. that if we practice the Noble Eightfold Path in many levels, I think attaining Nibbana is not difficult. And Nibbana is a state where we confirm ourselves when the uh, greed, hatred, and ignorance are completely gone. But there is a momentary Nibbana too. Suppose you uh, suppress the five hindrances, Panchanivarana, and Buddha clearly mentioned that it is a momentary Nibbana. So your mind is totally temporarily void of five hindrances. You taste the Nibbana there. And then you can attain to other levels in Samadhi, so you taste the Nibbana. So if we are able to get into this level of practice, we can feel that there may be people like that in the world. So, in order to feel someone's attainment, we have to have such a practice. I finally would like to tell you a particular discourse in Anguttara Nikaya. It is called Thana Sutta. In that sutta, Buddha clearly mentioned that there are four things should be mentioned to know about someone's attainment. The first one, uh, how do we know someone's attainment to arahantship or any other level of enlightenment? We have to live with him together for a long time, not for a short time, but with mindfulness and attention. There we can see his sila, morality, and also other practices. And then this is one criterion to check whether these people attain to enlightenment or not. We have to live with them not for 1 week, not for 1 month, maybe many, many years to know whether this person has that sort of enlightened state. The second criterion is uh, knowing the purity of speech of the particular people that we are checking for. So, being living with them for a long time, we can see where their speech is up to the point, and they are very disciplined in speech, and they do not talk bad thing in open, but they would do something bad in words when they live with one or two people. So we have to check that with so much attention living with them. So that the second criterion is checking the purity of speech. The third one is checking the inner ability, checking the ability of patience, and also being able to, bear the pain when something happens. For example, suppose a relative of the particular monk or bhikkhuni or person die. In normal time, he seems very solid in the practice and discipline and seems like an arahant. But when somebody close died, they become worried. It means that they do not have that energy. They are not enlightened. I experienced about one particular monk's nature. He has been very good in practice. Seems like an enlightened person, but when he lost one of his close relatives, he was so upset. So that was the indication that this monk is not an enlightened person. So when something disastrous happened, we can check whether these people are enlightened or not. That's the third criterion. And the last one is uh, through discussion. We we can have or we can form discussion with particular so-called enlightened monks uh, to check whether they are in enlightened state, but not with one discussion. About various topics, we have to have many discussion, not for 1 day, not for 2 days, throughout many days, months, and years. Then on that is the fourth criterion to know whether these people attain enlightenment. So, Dr. Sarat, uh, I can say that enlightened beings may exist. In my personal view, there would be enlightened beings in this world even today, but they do not come out and say this is we are enlightened beings, because they consider the social context if they want to come to the world. Look at the Buddha's life. Even the Buddha did not explain the Dhamma for some people because he saw that there is no point to waste my time for explaining Dhamma, because these people are not in a position to understand. So even Arahants and other enlightened beings might think that we should not come out today to tell this truth, to tell their experience, because people would like to see magics in the first place, and sometimes people think that they should come out and do some miracles. So people like to see that from Arahants. But Arahants are people who clear their mind from greed, hatred, and ignorance. So therefore, by external appearances, we cannot decide whether this person is an Arahant or not. But we have to follow these guidelines given by the Buddha in order to see the Arahant. So if the Noble Eightfold Path exists and analyzed and thought about, this world is not devoid of Arahants. That's the answer I can give you depending on the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante, for the answer. I think Dr. Sarat will be quite pleased with your answer. Just to follow up, there's another question about Arahants. Maybe Bhante, you can spare about 1-2 minutes to answer this question.
Does Bodhisattvas and Arahants stay in Nibbana with Buddha? Um, yeah, Bodhisattvas and Arahants, are two different people with different powers. Bodhisattvas, live at the time the self-enlightened Buddhas live. We have a reference that Buddha, the future Buddha Metteyya, uh, got the confirmation from our Buddha in the 8 years of the Buddha's ministry near Sankasa, just after he came from the divine world. Of course, our Buddha met, 20 four Buddhas in before his enlightenment, and he got the confirmation. Of course, Buddha and Bodhisattva could live in the same time period, and Arahants also. So they are in Bodhisattvas are not in Nibbana anyway. They practice the Dhamma to attain full enlightenment, the Buddhahood, but they are not enlightened beings. There may be mistakes happen, but very minor, because of his determinations to attain to Buddhahood. We cannot expect anyway that the Bodhisattvas do bad things, or they are incapable of controlling their emotions. They can control their emotion into highest extent, but they are not in Nibbana yet. But Arahants are equal to the Buddha in attaining Nibbana, particularly the destruction of taints, asavas. So that is the common ground for Buddha and Arahants. But Arahants and the Buddha are different from the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is still a person who has, who has not done anything with the craving, but he's a superhero, or the person who could deliver well with the emotions. I think, yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. I think we are running out of time. We'll answer the last question. We'll get Bhante Sankichcha to do that.
Is this the last question we have?
Yes, I think for tonight, this will be the last question.
Right. Okay. How to teach older generation on Buddhism, since most of them believe more on traditional practices rather than the real Dhamma? This question comes from Sister Nalin Jennings, Kuala Lumpur. So this is a very important question actually to all of us. Uh, how to teach the older generation of Buddhism? You know, uh, this is something very important we all have to think about, because this question, even though this question is about how to teach the older generation, but we should not forget that we all are also in the same process, right? We will reach that stage of life also. So therefore, we need to think about this question from these two As we have all the parents, as our mother or father are reaching the old age, and as they become very weak, uh, how to teach them the real Dhamma? It is very common understanding that our older generation is always engaged in the traditional, not always. There can be some individuals who have seen the essence of the teachings, but most of them are uh, very familiar with the traditional stuff, like the chanting, offering, these things. But it's very difficult for them to get into the deeper levels of the Dhamma. I think this has something to do with our modern day education, I guess. Uh, we all have this unique approach to the Buddhist teachings because of our education. You know, we develop the faculty of our thinking, analyzing. So therefore, we develop this interest in approaching the Dhamma in an analytical way, logical way. So this is different. This is hard for elderly people. So therefore, it is our duty actually how to deal with that situation out of compassion, out of loving kindness to our parents, grandparents, how to teach them the essence of the Dhamma. This old age is very complex. It's very complicated. The emotions that they deal with, or even the physical discomfort that they are dealing with. This is very complicated. When you think about. Therefore, especially in the counseling field, we learn about geriatric counseling. How to deal with the issues as people are aging. They are nearing the end of their life. They deal with different emotional issues, social issues, physical issues, mental issues. We need to understand them. And if you approach them without any understanding about these different aspects of aging, you're not going to effectively help them. You need to be very patient with them. When you talk about the Dhamma, when you talk about serious uh, for your elderly people, your parents, you have to be very patient. You have to be in their shoes also sometimes. Therefore, my advice is that try to avoid the difficult terms of the Dhamma, that you always talk about, but try to address their real issues, what they are going through, what is happening to their life, or as a common situation or experience in life and society. So take them or bring them into their awareness in their practical level and directly talk to them about, what do you think about this one? What do you think about that? Right? So try to open their heart, open their attention. So therefore, so we have to smartly find some important points and incidents, experiences in their life so that you can directly, effectively make them educate. You can easily educate them enough, right? So, but not using the difficult terms maybe, but to talk about what is important, basically what they are directly dealing with, like uh, leaving, having no children around them, without being able to move around, try to make them educate about impermanence, how things happen, how to accept things, how to let go of things, you know. So we have to be very smart in selecting the proper time and proper way of telling these things. So that way we can teach the Dhamma to our elderly people. So it would be the most important thing, even though we try to differentiate the deeper Dhamma, the real Dhamma. There's no such thing. The practical experience, what we are dealing with, how to find answers to these practical questions. So it is the real Dhamma exactly. Explain the suffering and help them how to get rid of it emotionally and effectively. So it would be a good question for us as well. As I mentioned earlier in this question, we also are in the same process. We all are aging. We are also reaching to old age little by little. So we have to think about our life as well. Would I be able to maintain this practice? Would I be able to be in line with my understanding as I age? Would I be able to leave these things in this world easily without any attachment? So these are some very interesting practical questions for us also. When we think about this question, how to teach older generation on this, right? So it is complex. It is not easy, but we have to be very smart and we have to find ways to do that to our practice. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante. So I think we've come to the end of today's Dhamma sharing. Uh, and this is the Ask Your Teachers Anything. And today we have answered 9 questions. We have a few more to go. And as I mentioned earlier, I think we'll probably do it next month to finish all questions that were asked. So before we end, as usual, could we have Bhante Jinananda to do the Anumodana? Bhante?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to do the Punyanumodana. It means giving blessings and also transferring meritorious vow to each and everyone. Let me start with the Bhante Sankichcha. On behalf of the Buddhist Mahavihara and Leslie Tilak as the organizer and the other board members, you accepted the invitation and delivered nice Dhamma facts for many people, not only for those sponsors but for everyone. So we wish blessings to our Venerable Bhante Sankichcha and his mother also. She's feeling not well these days. So we wish you blessings for all of you for happiness and peace. May you all complete your journey in the enlightenment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we thank Leslie Tilak and his team, including Venerable monks at the Buddhist Mahavihara, for offering this special question and answer session for the benefit of many people around the world. We came to know that many people listen to this session from the different part of the world. So thank you very much for organizing this and also inviting us to share the Dhamma. May you also be well, happy, and peaceful. May you be able to complete your practice soon to get into enlightenment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I would like to transfer blessings to those sponsors of this event. Leslie Tilak asked me not to pronounce the name if I cannot do so because they are not familiar to me. But I try my best. Miss Lam, Lei Ching, and Brother Eric Lim, and also Lim Chul Lian and Kuhoi Hok, and also Kwa Chi Singh. I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name. So these are the individuals and devotees of the Buddhist Mahavihara, of course, of this program, who sponsored the event. Even without saying anything, we know the fact that you accumulated a lot of merits by sponsoring for this event. A lot of people enjoyed the Dhamma with us. So may these merits be with you. May you be able to do more uh, in the Dhamma with similar events, and may you be in Nibbana in this very life as the power of these meritorious powers. And finally, those individuals who ask questions, uh, we thank them for energizing us to find out the Dhamma through our experience and also from the text to answer your questions. You are the pioneers of this event, and thanks for supporting the Buddhist Mahavihara by this way or and many other ways. And may you also be well, happy, and peaceful. At last, I just want to mention the great service of Venerable monks of Buddhist Mahavihara who passed away recently and long time ago, including Kesri Dhammananda, Mahathera, Venerable Punnaji, and many other monks. May they receive merits Of course, they would be in happy places. Perhaps our merits are not something they require. Anyway, as a gratitude, we transfer blessings to merits to them for their last journey in Nibbana. May they be well, happy, and peaceful. And relatives and friends who passed away in your families, for your friends, and all human beings who passed away recently because of the COVID-19 virus, may they all receive these merits and make their way to peace and happiness. May they all attain Nibbana. Finally, I hope that we can get together and discuss the Dhamma in a similar session next month. Until then, may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. I personally thank Bhante Sankichcha for having your time with this session amidst many difficulties in Sri Lanka with the mother's condition and also Sasana matters. Thank you very much. And let's Tilak, we wish you courage and more energy to conduct many services like this. Thank you, everyone. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you for taking time off from your busy schedules. Bhante Jinananda, you actually had done my work for me by thanking everybody. So I'm redundant at this point. But anyway, on behalf of the Committee of Management and also the monks of Buddhist Mahavihara, I would like to take this opportunity to thank both these monks, Bhante Sankichcha and both Bhante Jinananda, who have been very supportive of our activities. And as Bhante Jinananda has mentioned, hope we will be able to see you next month again for round 3. Ask the teachers anything 3.0. We'll set a date for when both the monks are free, and we have got already, I think, 10 questions lined up again, and hopefully we'll be able to finish the last series next month. Before we end, thank you very much, and a very good night and a very good morning to you, Bhante Jinananda in Canada, and have a pleasant day for each and every one of you. Sadhu.
Sadhu.
Okay.